In this video, I'm going to talk about why I left Atlanta and moved to North Carolina. It's official, like a referee with a whistle. So like and share this episode. So yeah, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I lived in Atlanta for 11 years. Yeah, I lived in Atlanta for a long time. And it was a good ride. It was fun. I made the best of it. I did what I had to do and I just moved on. And I don't have any regrets. I just know that it was a bad move for me and I made the best of it. And I learned a lot from it. And I would say if I didn't move to Atlanta, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. Stuff behind the scenes that I'm doing today that I don't talk about online. And I probably wouldn't have met some of the people that I met along the way, because in life, we tend to do what we have to do when we have to do it, if you know what I mean. So in other words, a lot of times, most people, including me, at certain points in my life, we don't always do what we know we should be doing at any given time. We usually do what we have to do when we feel like we're forced to do it due to circumstances, etc. That's how I would say that's how most people operate. They don't do what they know they should be doing at any given time, any given day and time. They do whatever the circumstances permit them to do. They feel like they have to do it because they're lacking in some type of way, shape, or form. It shouldn't be that way. I was taught growing up, my mom used to say, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But a lot of times, most of us are not ready. So we have to seek out the information that we need at certain times and periods. Just depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's a plus in my book. See, being that I moved down there, that stretched me. That made me become more, made me do more, made me learn more about who I am as a man, as a person, just in general. And you can do a lot if you got to. You might be thinking, hey, I could never do this, I could never do that. No, you might surprise yourself sometimes. I know certain things that I've accomplished, certain things that I've done, I surprised myself. I didn't think I would be able to do something like that. I didn't think I'd be able to sustain something as long as I did. But if you put your mind to it and you believe in yourself and you have faith, hey, you never know, man. You might surprise yourself sometimes. But now people always ask, well, do you recommend somebody move to Atlanta? I say it depends. If you want to start a business, or maybe you want to buy a business, yeah, Atlanta's a good place for that. If you want to buy a business or you want to start a business, it's a good place. But it's not going to be easy. Not gonna be easy by any means. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that happen in Atlanta doesn't happen anywhere else in the country. And when I say that, people kind of look at me like, what do you mean? It's really hard to explain. You had to live there to understand what I'm talking about. Atlanta is pretty, socially speaking, it's pretty wide open. Anything goes. There's no rules. People pretty much throw morals and values out the window. People are trying to do any and everything to come up, so to speak. So it's doggy dog out down in Atlanta, basically. That's how it is. And I've been told that it's always been that way. My brother told me it's always been that way, and he's 60 something years old. He said it's pretty much been that way since the 90s when he used to go down there. But I was too young to know that. I didn't know. But he said it's pretty much always been that way. But if you going down there for a job, and you don't know anybody, you're probably going to struggle. Because as a black man, a lot of people, first off, a lot of companies, they're just not hiring us straight up. Just straight up and down. They're just not hiring us. Like, now, yeah, there's a lot of black women that have jobs. But the problem with, even if you get a job down there as a black man, you're probably going to be in and out, on and off different jobs. And this is pretty common. I've seen this a lot with a lot of black males in Atlanta. They usually work for a year or two, quit, get another job, fired. Most of the time, they usually end up getting fired or quitting, usually. And then the problem is you work your ass off, and then they'll just get rid of you, like, with no thought, no, like it's like no big deal. It might even fire you on your day off. It's that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a guy that he got fired 3 times in 3 years on 3 different jobs. So, and I told him, look, if you get a chance, move, get out of there. Go somewhere where you're wanted, where they need you to work there. They actually want you to work there. You know what I'm saying? And there's better alternatives and better places than Atlanta. But see, a lot of people want to live in Atlanta because of the nightlife and all the bullshit. But look, you can't even afford to live there. Forget the nightlife. You can't even afford to enjoy the nightlife. If you ain't working, or if you don't have money coming in like you would like, so the nightlife is all for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But this is how a lot of people see it. You got a lot of people down there paying $3,000-$4,000 for rent. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And these are not celebrities that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like people online, people that have businesses, people that even have 9-to-5 jobs paying $3,000-$4,000 a month for rent. That doesn't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to stay near all the action. They want to stay downtown or midtown or Buckhead or some shit like that. That shit don't make no sense to me, man. You know what I'm saying? When I lived down there, I think the most I ever paid for rent was $1,700 for 2 rooms. That's it. I'm not paying. I wasn't paying no $2,000 for no damn rent. If I have to pay $2,000 for rent, I'll just go buy a fucking duplex and rent out the other side or some shit like that. But I just wasn't I just wasn't willing to do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's no benefit in paying 3, 4, 5,000 in rent. And these matchbox ass apartments they got, you would think that if they're paying 3, 4,000, that boy, this shit is lavish. No, you go over there, it's small ass 1 bedroom, nothing spectacular about it at all. It's all about the location and the damn building. It's a damn high rise or some shit like that, you know. And see, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in Atlanta. That's another thing that nobody talks about. And you know, a lot of people, believe it or not, are not happy being there, living down there. They just don't talk about it. If you was to sit down with the average black person, especially if they have a family, especially if they live down there for a long time, and they don't necessarily gotta be a black person. It could just be the average person that you work with at the job or some shit like that. Somebody that's been living down there 10, 15, 20 years. Most of these people are not happy living down there. They just, they just make the best of it and do what they got to do because they got kids and responsibilities and all that shit. And they don't see themselves moving anywhere or going anywhere because they feel like they're stuck and they've been living down there for so long. But that ain't the case. You can move. I was down there for 11 years and I left that motherfucker. So now I understand if you have kids and a family, it might be a little difficult, but it ain't impossible. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like when I was down there, I did the best I could with what I had. And I hit a glass ceiling. I felt like I maxed out my potential in that location. And sometimes, it's time to move on. And plus, I didn't go down there with the mindset that I was going to be down there for the rest of my life. That's another thing. I didn't go down there thinking that, hey, I'm going to be down here for the rest of my life. This is my home. No, I didn't go down there like that. I went down there with the mindset that this could be another great opportunity for me to explore and, do something different and do whatever I'm doing bigger and better. And see, before I went down there, I was already online. I already had a couple YouTube channels, and I already was doing websites for people. So, I just wanted to take what I was doing to the next level. That's basically all I was trying to do, Now, everything didn't work out as planned, which it almost never does. But at the same time, if I didn't go down there, I wouldn't have met the people that I met. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a give and take. That's how I see it. It's kind of like if you're not in the right place at the right time, I probably wouldn't have met these types of people, and that probably wouldn't have connected me to these other groups of people. So that's usually how it is, man. You got to take the good with the bad and make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would say if Atlanta is not the type of place where you go in there to start from scratch. You don't know nobody. You load up all your shit. You're driving across country. You moving from Texas, California, or from Miami to Atlanta, or from a lot of people from Florida like moving to Atlanta, and they'll move. Never been there before. They just heard about it, or if they did visit before, They know very little about the city. This is not that type of place where you move there, you starting from scratch, and you say, hey, I'm going to come here. I'm going to network with people. And I'm going to start from the ground up. And I'm going to get this great job. And I'm going to make it happen. This is not that type of town. You know, the chances of that happening for you is slim to none. Especially if you're a black male. Because like I said, they're not fucking with us like that. They're not hiring us like that for these jobs. Oh, you can get a job. But how much are you getting paid? How much are you getting paid? That's very important. You can get a job, but how much are you going to get paid? See, the pay rate is probably the lowest it's probably the lowest that I've ever seen where I live. Now, it might be some places that pay less. I wouldn't doubt it. But for a city as big as Atlanta, the pay rate got to be one of the lowest in the country. It got to be, you know. So even if you get a job, how much are you going to get paid? Now, as far as women get paid more, just across the board, you know. And a lot of these companies they'll prefer to deal with a woman over us. That's just across the board. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people. Now, if you're a white guy moving to Atlanta, oh man, it's great. It's gonna be great for you. If you're a white guy, the world is your oyster. Especially if you're a white guy that has money. The world is your oyster in Atlanta. You know, if you're gay, the world is your oyster in Atlanta. It's set up for you if you're a gay person. Oh yeah. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. You know, it's set up for a gay person and white guys. If you're one of these people that's living an alternative lifestyle, oh yeah, Atlanta is the place for you. There's all kind of subgroups and communities there that you can connect and network with, and hey, you can definitely make something happen. But if you're a straight black man, it's not really set up for you, unless you have a business. You're a business owner. That's the only way. Maybe you're in the music business or something like that, or tech. But the jobs is not popping for us down there. No, it's not really popping. You know, it used to be, but not anymore. Now, you have some people will say, well, there's a lot of black people going down there. There is. But there's a lot of black people leaving too. And there's a lot of black people struggling too. And you have to realize that Atlanta is like a revolving door. Every season, every football season, there's a different group of people at the bar. I've noticed this because I've been down. Like I said, I was there 11 years, and I used to watch football. Every football season, there's a different group of people at the sports bars. You know, it's like it's like if you go to any of these bars on a consistent basis, most of the people you see, they're gonna be gone. And you might say, well, they just stopped going to the bar. No, no. You know how I know? Because I got a lot of these people's phone numbers, and I called them, and I said, hey, bro, what's up? I ain't seen you in a minute. You don't come to the bar no more. They be like, oh, I don't live there no more. I'm gone. I moved to Florida, North Carolina, Texas, something like that. Yes, that's so. No, a lot of people come and go. It's like a revolving door. You know, they come to Atlanta, test out the waters, see if they like it. If not, they gone. You know. And another thing you have to realize is Atlanta is it's a culture of criminals. It's a cesspool. So you have a lot of people that they don't necessarily live there, but they'll come there, stay there for a short period of time or for a weekend or a week. They'll invest their money or come there and wild out, have a good time, and go back where they came from. So they'll invest money in almost anything, but they're not going to live there. Now, what you have to keep in mind, what's interesting, some of the biggest names online, some of these people that you know, these business people that you know, I'm not going to call nobody's name, they like Atlanta. They invest a lot of money into the city of Atlanta, but they will not live there. They will not. They don't have a weekend. You know, they don't have a summer house there, a condo there. They don't. You know, they don't have no property there, none whatsoever. But they will invest money there. They'll come there, wild out, raise hell, and go back to New York or up north, wherever the hell they came from. But they're not gonna live there. They're not gonna buy. They're not gonna settle there. I find that to be very interesting. There's a city that they claim they love so much, but they're not gonna have a second home there. No. And see, these people come in and out of Atlanta a lot through the whole year. Like through the whole year, they might visit Atlanta, shit, maybe like 20, 30 times in 1 year. And they'll get a hotel every time. Get a hotel majority of the time or stay with somebody. But they ain't getting no property. They're not getting no. If you say, hey, why don't you get a second home since you be down here all the time? Nah, I'm good. I'll just get an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like that. I'll get a hotel. No, you know. So it's very interesting, you know. And see, and another thing I learned a lot down there. A lot of these entertainers down there, they really don't have no clout as much as you think. Only clout they have is when they get on stage. That's it. They don't really got no power. They don't really got no pull with the mayor or the people on the council or the government. They don't got no pull with none of the politicians. Actually, a lot of these entertainers are so powerless. If they get in any trouble or get jammed up in some type of way, they'll make an example out of them. They'll treat them sometimes worse than the average Joe that gets locked up. And T.I. was a good example of this. When T.I. got locked up, one time, they was trying to treat T.I. like he was just an average Joe. You know, and even the security guard where he lives at was mad disrespectful to T.I. Somebody recorded a video of the security guard. He was saying some foul shit, and this is where T.I. lives at least one of his properties. I don't know if it's the main one. But this is a house, a private neighborhood, HOA neighborhood where T.I., one of his houses is at. And the security guard was mad disrespectful, and somebody recorded the video and uploaded to YouTube. And it was acting like T.I. just a regular Joe. You know, I mean, he's a hillbilly, the security guard or whatever. And the police, was just as worse, you know, because through that situation with the security guard, that encounter that T.I. had, he ended up um he ended up going to jail. I mean, I think they lied. Basically they lied. They tried to set the dude up. But he ended up going to jail. And when he went to jail, there was another video, and the police in the jail was basically treating T.I. like he wasn't shit. So I realized that, and I've seen this over and over. This ain't just about T.I. My point I'm trying to make is they don't respect entertainers down there. They don't have no clout, you know. Now there's some towns, some cities where they see entertainers, cops get them a pass if they're doing something fucked up. You know, a cop will stop an entertainer and be like, yo man, let me get a picture. You know what I'm saying? And that might be kind of weird, because you'd be like, why would you stop somebody to take a fucking picture? I mean, it happens. A cop want to take a picture. You'd be like, yo, man, I just want to take a picture, man. You weren't doing nothing wrong, or whatever. But in Atlanta, that more than likely that don't happen. If a cop stop you, he ain't trying to get no picture. He's trying to harass your ass. So that's how I usually go. And you heard, more than likely, you've heard countless many entertainers got jammed up in Atlanta. And they don't get them no slack. They don't cut them no slack. They had their mug shot up there just like they do with everybody else. Put them on blast in the media and every goddamn thing. You know? So, now I didn't know all of this before I moved down there. I thought the entertainers had it going on, man. I thought they had clout or whatever. Just like right now, a couple months ago, shit, they trying to push all them, any entertainer that has a business, they trying to push them up out of there. They're trying to, come up with little schemes and ways to shut their business down. I think I don't know. I think they're still going back and forth, But yeah, this is the type of shit that white people do. It's so that's when I like, oh yeah, these dudes ain't got no clout. They might got some clout around the black people or the rest of us, but when it comes to white people, they don't give a shit about them being celebrity. They just take advantage of them, So, I took all of this shit. I just observed all this shit when I was down there, and I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna grimy down here, And like I said, shit happened in Atlanta that don't happen anywhere else in the country. I mean, the fuckery in Atlanta is next level. I mean, I could sit here and talk about it all day, but I'll be here for 6 hours. I got stories after stories after stories when it comes to this shit. For real. And see, down in Atlanta, it's like two groups of people. It's the local Atlanta people and everybody else, the people that came there, which is a drastically different group of people. Most people that I met that's from Atlanta, born and raised, are pretty cool. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I would say, and a lot of these other groups of people, they from everywhere, up north, out west. They come down there in Atlanta with that cutthroat, backstabbing mentality. And a lot of these people are criminals, man. And you can't. Atlanta is the first place I ever live, where you can't really trust nobody. Even if you know them, you can't trust them, because what I've found is a lot of people kind of buy into that way of thinking, that criminal way of thinking, that criminal element way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is why I made a mistake. You can't invite people over your house so fast, because you don't really know what intentions they have. You really don't know. I made a mistake, because see, where I'm from, if you invite somebody over your house, you trust them, man or woman. You trust that person. If they made an impression on you, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain level of respect there. But down there in Atlanta, no, it's not like that. If you invite the wrong person over your house, shit, man, you might get robbed in the next couple of days. Yeah, it goes down like that. It goes down like that. Or the person that you invited over might try to make a move on your wife or your husband on a sneak tip. Or they might want to have a threesome. You just don't know. Now, you might say, people think like that everywhere. No, they don't. People don't think like that everywhere. Where I'm from, no one comes over with the mindset of I want to have a threesome with y'all. No, that doesn't happen where I'm from. No one comes over to your house thinking I want to see what they got in here so I can rob them. No, it's not like that where I'm from. People don't think like that. No, see, it's a culture of criminals down there. It's a cesspool. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna notice until you live there. Even if you visit there, you're not gonna know what I'm telling you right now. Well, you know it now because I'm telling you, but you would only notice if someone tells you. And most people that live there, they don't talk about it. Most people that live there get fucked over all the time, even before I moved there, but they won't tell you. If you ask the average person to go into details, they're not going to really go into details like that, And I found that most other people down there run into the same type of people, but they just don't say anything about it. They would just move on and act like it didn't happen. And see, and another problem that a lot of people have, because we're still in most people are kind of they're kind of tribal. Most people, they're kind of tribal, right? That move over here from other countries. And I tell people, I said, look, I know y'all from the same place, y'all speak the same language, but when people move over here to Atlanta, where you from, they don't act the same. And see, when I say that to people, they kind of look at me like, what do you mean? I meant what I just said. You got to be careful. Just because y'all went to the same high school, you got to watch him. How long he been living here? He been living here for 5-10 years. If he been living there for 5-10 years, he's probably just as scandalous as most of these other people around here that I know. And this same person that I tell this to, probably a year or two go by, and then they'll come back and be like, hey man, you know what you told me when I first got here? You was right. He said, yeah, my homeboy robbed me he borrowed some money from me and never paid it back. And then he robbed me. It'll be something like that. It'll be something they caught off guard, surprised that this person that they known all the time, damn near all their life, would do such a thing to them. And I said, I tried to tell you, people don't act the same when they get here. And then they'll be like, and this is a common one too. Somebody will say, hey, when I first got here, my boy or my girl, my friend they they help me move and everything and whatever, but ever since then, I don't see them often. If I do see them, it's not too often at all. So I'd be like, okay, how often do you see them? Probably once every 4 months or once every 90 days, some shit like that. And I'd be like, why do you think that is? Say, I don't know, man. They just acting funny style towards me. I said, well, yeah, I don't know exactly why. I don't really know your friend or whatever, but a lot of times that's because a lot of people I've learned over the years are secretly jealous. A lot of people want you to do well, but they don't want you to do as well as them. That's what I've learned. So a lot of people, if you ask them, if you're a new person moving to a town or city, a lot of people don't want to really help out. Like if you need somebody to do your taxes, they'll be like, oh, I don't know nobody. If you need a attorney, oh, I don't know nobody. You know, I'm like, you need a realtor, I don't know nobody. Now, how can you not know nobody if you bought a house? If you bought a house, you know at least one realtor, and you know at least one attorney. So it's like, it's that type. A lot of people are funny acting like that. When you really, no, they don't hang out with you on some bullshit. You know, just drinking and smoking some shit like that, getting high. But when it's time to do some type of real business, a lot of people are funny style like that. You know, you gotta watch people that you're around like that. You know, because you might have hung out with people damn near all your life, but you might never done no serious business with them. See how they act when it's time to do some real business. And if they act funny style, cut their ass off. Y'all ain't friends. That ain't your friend. See, your friend would help you out. Your friend wouldn't be jealous of you. Your friend wouldn't lie to you. And people, oh, he say he loved me. Love ain't lies. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy into that bullshit where, oh, the reason why he lied to me because he don't want to hurt my feelings. Bullshit. Love ain't lies. And in a situation like just helping out your friend, you ain't trying to hurt. You ain't hurt nobody's feelings. You trying to help the person out. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to help you out because they're secretly jealous of you. So we gotta be careful with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ran into situations like this when I was in Atlanta. So through it all, I ended up with a handful of people that I'm still cool with. But majority of those people were just time wasters. And it was a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of people, you know, talk big talk, but they weren't really about shit. Really. And it's just across the board, by the way. It's not just black people. Actually, I had most of my run-ins with white people. Most of the problems I had was white people. Most of the black people, they just want to have a good time and, you know, do some fuck shit. But most of my run-ins, it was white people. And most of them occurred at the jobs. Because it's hard working these jobs with white people. You know, like it was really hard working these jobs with white people. Yeah, I'm talking like, and you have a lot of foreigners working these jobs. And that's another thing. You had a lot of black foreigners working these jobs. And they will throw your fucking ass under the bus if you're black American. And this is pretty standard. And I worked multiple jobs. I worked a lot of jobs when I was down there. almost 9 times out of 10 is going to be a black foreigner. And they're going to be there on some bullshit, kissing white people's ass. And then they'll get fired. And then they'll get played. And I'll be like, and see the white people allow them to do the fuck shit. And when the shit goes down, they'll just fire them and hire somebody else for less. That's usually how it go. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people will say, well, there's still a lot of prosperous black people down there. There is. But they've been down there for 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years. Probably longer than that. So, yeah. They already established already. They know people. But you, brand new, going down there, it ain't the same. The environment is not the same. The politics is not the same. Back then, you didn't have a lot of foreigners there like it is now. Now it's set up for foreigners. It's set up for foreigners to come in and do whatever they want, and there's no benefit for somebody like me. Really, the foreigners come in and they get better jobs than me. And see the thing is, if I tell people what I just said to you, they'll say, "Oh, you just lazy. That's all. You don't want to work." And see, that's that bullshit. They say that just to justify, because they really don't want to say what it really is, what it really boils down to. You know what I'm saying? This is why I started to freelance. I had to create my own way. My first 8 years I'll say 7 years of me living down there. I had to create my own income, my own means. My last 3 years, I worked at UPS headquarters. And then during the pandemic, they shut everything down, and I just decided to move to North Carolina, which was one of the best moves I ever made. And it was perfect timing because everything shut down, people scared, no one knows what's gonna happen. I'm like, this is the best time. You know what I'm saying? I know where I'm going. I know what I want to do. I might not know what's going on with the world, but I know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people would say, well, there's still a lot of average black people down there. There is, but they way out on that south side. If you go downtown Atlanta right now, you're going to see white people jogging, walking the dog, or whatever. Most black people are struggling down there. Most black people can't really afford to live down there because it's so damn expensive. But there's a lot of black people that's on the south side of Atlanta. That's where you're going to find them at. Up 70, 75 south. Yeah, I would say that's where the majority of black people going to be at today. They got pushed out because of the prices. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some black people that are doing well, very well there. But that ain't the majority. A lot of black people are leaving Atlanta. They're going to Texas, like Dallas, Austin. They're going to Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, Nashville, Tennessee. Because, you know why? Because it's less hassle, less riffraff. The jobs are better. You don't have to worry about the traffic, and the traffic is a problem. Let me tell you why. It's not just because of the amount of people on the highway. It's just too many people. And you're not going to be able to, you got to wake up You got to leave an hour and a half, 2 hours early to get to work on time or get to any place on time, especially if it's rush hour. So if you're in a small town, you don't got to worry about that type of shit. You don't got to wake up. You don't got to leave 2 hours ahead of time to get to work in the morning. No, you know, and then and you still might be late if you leave 2 hours ahead of time, because only take one accident and you're late, you know. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of moving parts living in a city like Atlanta. There's a lot of things you have to be aware of and conscious of living there. However, when you move to another city, like say Charlotte, Austin, even Dallas, Raleigh, Miami, you don't, most of that, half of that shit, you don't got to worry about no more. It's like, I don't have to worry about traffic. I don't have to worry about, you know, I don't have to worry. I mean, when I lived in Atlanta, it's simple shit. I had to always keep finding someone to do my taxes. I had to always keep finding somebody to get my hair cut. You know, because this is a revolving door. People come and go. You know, some people don't like paying the booth rent, so they'll get kicked out where they cut their hair at or where they do their taxes at. You know, so people change their phone numbers. It's like, look, like I don't have, like today, I don't have to worry about getting my hair cut. It's the same person that I've been going to forever before I left. Because I moved back to the same place that I left before I went to Atlanta. I go to the same person. I don't gotta go to a new person. They not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But the problem, let me tell you why a lot of people don't move. When you move to a new place, you got to start all over again. Starting all over, it can be tough. But I look at it like peace of mind. Plus, I can save money and make more money. And the opportunities can be better in most cases, and I don't have to deal with a lot of people. And it's less cutthroat, and there's still some decent, moral people in the town where I live. And them big cities like Atlanta, it's, you know, piece cutthroat, dog eat dog. See, I don't gotta worry with all that. And plus, I'm not as young as I used to be. That's a town. That's a young man's game. It's a young man's game. You know what I'm saying? But I did what I had to do. I moved on, and now I'm into real estate now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty much gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. Real estate, and I have websites online. And I'll still be doing the broadcasting from time to time. And I'll still be doing interviews, you know, from time to time. And as a matter of fact, you know, I started a new channel. It's a business channel. And I started a new podcast called the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast. It's all about business. So that's where I'm at now. And that's where I'm going. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. You know? So hey, that's why I left Atlanta. It was just time to move on. The bigger and better things. And I haven't been back to Atlanta since I left. It's been October will make 2 years. Make 2 years. And it's nice. I'll visit there. A nice place to visit. But there's a whole lot of other places better to visit. I've recently I've been to Dallas. Dallas reminds me a lot of Atlanta. And then I went to Sarasota, Florida, and Miami. So, I'm back out here. I'm back outside, like some people like to say. So, I'll always visit from time to time, and I would invest property in Atlanta as well. So it's nice to visit, nice to invest, but it's a cesspool. Young man's game, not the best place to live. I would never have a family. I would never raise kids there. So hey, that's all I got to say. Now maybe you might have a different perspective. You might see things different than me, and that's okay. Maybe you don't think the way I do, and that's okay too. But the only question I have to you, if you disagree with everything I said, how's your way going? You gotta ask, how's your way of thinking, your way of operating going? And you might live in Atlanta. So my question to you, what's been your experience living in Atlanta? How do you like it? Don't tell me you make 50, 60,000. You think that's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money living in Atlanta. I made more than that. I didn't leave because of the money. I left because I did what I was supposed to do. And I didn't plan on living there for the rest of my life. I could have easily be still living there. Money ain't really had nothing to do with it. It was just the people and the circumstance and what I had planned, and plus I don't have to worry about a lot of crime, because see, the more people, large crowds of people equates to crime. That's just the law of averages. That's what it is. Just because someone doesn't get caught, that don't mean they ain't not a criminal either. So don't tell me, well, ain't a lot of crime. I don't see a lot of people doing. And don't tell me, a lot of black people get locked up. Shut up. We get targeted. That's all it is. A lot of these other guys and gals do what they want to do, and they never go to jail. You know why? Because nobody's looking for them. Nobody's looking for anybody else. They only look for us. We got to be morally right and stay on the righteous tip. But anybody else, they can do whatever. So if you're one of those types of people, kiss my ass. So share this episode. Don't forget to check out my Patreon and all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm out. Peace. If you like this video, share this video. And if you want to support my channel, click the thanks tab and leave me a donation. 2, 5, 10.